to the point where you said you're going to stop the call, Mark.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it ends.
What about now?
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
Okay, can you just grab that link wherever you found it and post it in chat, and then I'll go through the agenda. Okay, so sorry for the delays, everyone. I just spent the last half hour trying to figure out how to do this stream, having my own senior moment. Okay, we have a bunch of announcements. First of all, we have.
Sorry, I don't know if the audio is working on that live stream.
Well, I don't know what to do about that.
It seems to be working on mine.
I just spent the last half hour trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, it's working. It's just a super.
Yeah,
delay.
totally.
Okay. My own senior moment. Okay, so where were we? So we have new packages, and this is big news. So we have packages for Ubuntu and Fedora, I think. I don't know. Josh is on the call. I think, Josh, can you just give us a quick update about all the awesome work that you've been doing? Is Josh on the call? Oh, he's not. Okay, well, to summarize...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, to summarize what Josh's been doing, he's been packaging up GNU Radio on Launchpad and on Copper, which means that Ubuntu and Fedora users can now install GNU Radio through their package manager instead of having to go through building it from source. Now, obviously, there will be plenty of people who still want to build from source, especially if they're developers. But the majority of folks out there just want to try stuff out, and this is how we're gonna provide that. So there's a couple of things here. So first of all, please go try that out. This is still new, and we want to make sure that it's working well. Now we have feeds for different versions, and in fact, someone can correct me if I'm wrong or not, but I think we even have a feed for like master branch to track sort of nightly build kind of thing. Is that true? Marcus, do you know if that's true? Okay, looks like everyone's not necessarily reliably available on audio on this call. So we have a couple of feeds. We definitely have 3.7 in there. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. So yes, we have the master feed. We have the latest release, main 3.8 feed. Then we have the main 3.7, so the latest 3.7 release feed. That means that even on old Ubuntu LTS 16.04, you can get a current 3.7, and I'm not quite sure you can get 3.8, but you probably should. And on modern, Josh has just joined. So on modern distros, you can most definitely get modern versions of Ubuntu. You can most definitely get master and 3.8. This is pretty awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was just saying, we also have that on Fedora, which you just announced. Josh, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so those are very fresh. There's probably going to be, a couple, beta issues that we need to work out. But, on a couple machines here, Fedora 29, 30, 31, you just enable the copper and then install, and there's GNU Radio right there.
Yeah, very cool. So we would like to, like I said, ask people to try it out, and then everyone who is working in these, these Linux distros, I would also like you to recommend this to other users. And if you're writing new tutorials, etc., then recommend this as the path to install GNU Radio through. Yeah, I think that's a big change. It'll make a lot of people's lives a lot easier. Make it easier to maintain GNU Radio around your own networks or whatever. And people who don't want to participate in the development of GNU Radio, who just want to use the latest stuff, they could just now do that without having to bother about compiling. Cool. So next announcement is just a quick reminder about FOSDEM. So FOSDEM is on the 1st and the 2nd of February 2020 in Brussels, Belgium, as usual. It's a free event, but of course you have to get there. And there is a free software radio track. The Free Software Radio track is sort of a mini conference about SDR. It's not specific to GNU Radio, but it does include GNU Radio. There's usually plenty of other cool stuff going on. There is space-related things, whatever. And we are still in the midst of collecting presentations. So I don't know, Phil, you're the FOSDEM representative. Do you want to say something regarding FOSDEM?
Please submit talks to Pentabarf and look for the CFP on the GNU Radio list and other places.
And just to give you an idea what FOSDEM also has, there's a lot of other things that people who touch SDR code are often also interested in. So open hardware stuff is there, and FPGAs, embedded things, scientific stuff, and also like legal and community related workshops. It's all there at FOSDEM. So it's a really nice conference. One piece of advice: don't just show up. Like, plan ahead, because it's very full. You probably want to meet people, so give them a, agree to arrange to meet with someone instead of just assuming you'll run into them. But it's a fantastic event, and we've been there for I think 5 years now. Before FOSDEM is a Hackfest, which Andre announced on the call, and the Hackfest will be in is it Eindhoven, ESA, some ESA building. Max, do you have the details on that? Max is muted again. Can someone please do me a favor, look up the email that Andre wrote, and I'll quick.
I'm on it. So I would expect that to be close to where Andre works, actually. And that's in Nordwijk.
Right.
And that's pretty much at the North Sea. I've been told it's very idyllic. And we've got limited space, so please do register. If you're looking for that email with all the registration links, it's on the mailing list archives with the subject GNU Radio pre-FOSDEM Hackfest. And yeah, you'll find it. So it's a week-long thing. So not really week-long. It starts on January 28th, ends on January 30th. So there's a bit of time to travel from the north end of the Netherlands to Brussels, which is not really far, and still some time to get to know the surroundings. Yeah, and I think we already have some topics that we promise we'll be talking about. We have a few confirmed guests, and there's a list of topics there. That's FPGA accelerators. That there is SIGMF and VRT, so Vita data, I guess. Porting of things to GNU Radio 3.8 and later. And testing for Volk and GNU Radio releases. Also accelerators on GPUs. So that would be pretty good if you could register. Oh, it's free of charge. We should probably mention that it's free of charge.
Just pure hacking awesomeness. Speaking of events that are, I don't know if they're free, but they're awesome. Yes, it's free. There's the third European GNU Radio Days coming up. So the third European GNU Radio Days. The first one was called the French GNU Radio Days because it's in France, and this one is still in France. It's in Poitiers this time. Actually, you had to look up where that is. It's sort of in the center west of France. So not quite sure how you get there. There's probably some TGV that stops there.
Through Paris.
Of course, it's France. I'm just going to quickly read out some dates here. So the event is on 22nd, 23rd of June in Poitiers, as I mentioned. The submission deadline for contributions is April 1st. And registration deadline is May 1st. So that's about 2 months ahead of the event. So please register if you want to come, because this is a bit of a bit smaller event than GRCon, and there is, we need to make sure that we make the organizers' lives easy to actually present. Like, if topic-wise, it is actually fairly similar to GRCon, maybe even a little bit more GNU Radio specific. I'm sure they're looking for sponsors still. I don't know, it doesn't say so on the CFP right now. But for all you Europeans who can't make it to the GRCon, this is a great event, and then you get to see some areas of France that you might not have seen otherwise. Okay, we have one final thing I want to bring up, and that is we've had a couple of documentation improvements. So I mean, some of you might know that Mark Lichtman is the guy on the GNU Radio sort of leadership team that is responsible for documentation improvements. And he's got a couple of people who joined him. Cyril, Barry, and a couple of others have been getting together. They've been working a lot on the wiki, improving that, and also documentation for PyBombs. There's nothing specific I want to point out here, unless Nate, you want to do that. But I just want to give a huge shout out to those guys. It's very important to get our documentation up to date and useful, and it's just a huge gain for the project to have good documentation. And I'm so happy that people just volunteered to improve that, especially after there was a mailing list thread recently where someone said, this documentation is not so good, and then I think it was Barry who said, well, you know what, I'm going to volunteer to improve it. And that's exactly the kind of community behavior that improves GNU Radio and makes it more and more awesome. So I'm just very, very happy that this is going on. I'd like to thank everyone who's involved in that. All right, now that we've probably been speaking for much less time than it took me to set up the stream, but that's all we had in terms of agenda items, unless someone else has something they want to add before we hang up.
Have you mentioned Volk before I was able to join?
No. Please tell us about Volk, Marcus.
Yeah, Volk is like, in case people don't know, Volk is it is a GNU Radio spin-off, but it's become more than that. It's our vector optimized library of kernels, so it contains a lot of CPU optimized code for different CPU architectures, microarchitectures, and we are trying to spin that off into a separate project. As such, we'll see regular releases soon, but I'm very happy to announce that maybe, is Michael on this call actually?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, so why don't you?
So yeah, I'm starting to be a co-maintainer of Volk along with Johan DeMail, and we will be getting a lot of PRs dealt with and getting issues dealt with and moving things along and doing releases once we get to the point of understanding all different parts of what we need to be doing in that regard. So yeah, we're excited to be on board and moving this forward with Volk.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. The long-term goal for us is to remove Volk from GNU Radio, so we don't have that sub-module dependency in there anymore. But of course, we don't want to give up any of the flexibility that we get from being in charge of Volk as well. So having Michael Dickens and Johannes Demmel be running Volk, as long-term GNU Radio contributors, is a huge. It's just a huge win for us all. Okay, Marcus, did you have anything else that you want to talk about?
No, not right.
Did we mention GR European Days?
Yes. Let's talk about that. Okay, well, in that case, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Also, thank everyone for being on the mailing list, playing around with GNU Radio, contributing fixes and all of that. This will have actually, not quite sure we'll have another call in December because it might be pretty close to Christmas this year. I will send out something on the mailing list to that effect. Okay, everyone. Thanks. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.